really bright in your face, green, boom, neon. And I was like, ooh. What even got me to watch this show in the first place? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I saw the poster for the anime on the building where Anime Expo is hosted, and I was like, wait, dude, if they put gqux on there, bet I need to watch this. Let's see what's going on. I went into the show completely blind, number one, because I don't really know what goes on in this Universal Century timeline that apparently Mobile Suit Gundam takes place in. I was just like hoping with everything that even though I watched this anime, that this had nothing to do with it, because do you know how many Gundam anime there are out there that I would have to watch or read through in order to understand this 12 episode anime in 2025? So I was like, please, please, please. So yeah, I know nothing about Universal Century timeline. I just know it's a thing. I know that it's a main timeline for a whole bunch of the Gundam anime or whatever, and apparently this one doesn't take place in the Universal Century timeline, but it takes place in something called the AU, which is alternate universe or something like that, which means it's not involving you know what I mean? I was just like, what does that mean? Is it or is it not? Kind of is kind of crazy, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's kind of in the UC, it's just the AU. Wait, AC or AU? I had so many questions after I finished the anime. I was like, who is this? Why do they matter? Why is there so many words that I am not familiar with? I think Gundam seriously has its own dictionary probably of their own terms, because dude, if you don't even know one thing, you're gonna be completely lost. And I was lost a lot of the time until I ended up researching what half of these things meant. You kind of have to make up things as you go, like, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and just create your own reality. So it's like the Universal Century timeline, alternate timeline, and your own damn timeline. Because of that, I was just already interested in how these new characters from gqux were going to interact with other characters from the actual Universal Century timeline, and how the director was going to make that appear in this short anime, right? I was like, what can they even make out of this? Anyway, so the main character gets introduced. She's from this place called Side 6, if I'm not mistaken. She and a whole bunch of other people that are from there, they live in this huge floating cylinder, and it's not huge actually. I'm lying, I'll get to that. These people live in a floating cylinder in outer space. If you're standing all the way at the end of the cylinder, you can see probably the end of the cylinder. I'm not even lying. And that to me is crazy. If I lived in a world where it was only a 4-mile diameter radius, would I go insane? No wonder this girl wanted to explore Earth. I mean, I'm just assuming that if you live in outer space, you would want to see the Earth. And people that live on Earth want to see outer space. That's just how it works. So I was already invested. I was like, that's her dream, to go to Earth and see the ocean. Okay, I'm with that. And let's make that happen for her. I was just really hoping that would happen for her. And spoiler alert, it did. I started to believe that was like the main goal in the anime, and then whenever it was that she finally saw the ocean, it just didn't feel like that was the main goal of the anime itself, which is different from a character's goal, right? But I don't know, for some reason I put those two in the same pot, and I was like, okay, well, that's what we're gonna do this whole anime. But no, that's not what was happening. So Machu, the main character, meets this girl named Neon, like, yeah, very cute name. And I was like, okay, so Yuri or not quite. This guy comes in, his name is Shuji, and apparently, per the director, this was supposed to be a love triangle. Okay, so I was like, great, now there's a love triangle and everything else that I'm already not understanding about Gundam anyway, right? All these words being thrown at me, all these names, all these characters' backstories and why they matter. I'm just like, dude, I see pretty color. I like pretty color. I see cool robot thing. I'm just trying to stay calm and focus on that at this point. Mind you, I'm finding out about all this after I've watched the anime the first time. They did this weird thing, like, I don't know. There is an element of love in the anime with Machu, Nian, and Shuji, but it didn't feel like that whole typical, like, oh my god, I'm gonna chase this character and make internal dialogues over and over again on why I want to be with them or why I'm in love with them or whatever, which was actually, it was really refreshing. So we're not really focusing on the love aspect here, but it is still kind of there. And yeah, so I liked that. And then there was some jealousy going on between Machu and Mian, and it was like really brief, but it was so funny actually. One of them takes their shirt off or something to feel the cold, and then the other one looks at the other and she's like, I want to do that too, because Shuji was watching, and I was just like, oh my god, what the f is actually going on here? But this guy, Shuji, he's such an oddball. He's such a weird ass character. Mysterious, kind of not there, kind of talks in riddles. I feel like everything he did was like a clue to something bigger. He sprays graffiti on the walls, and I was like, he's a mysterious character. Maybe the graffiti means something. And I was okay, just stop. I'm just doing too much at this point. I think more than anything, the whole love triangle thing was really interesting because there is this thing called new types in Gundam. New types are kind of like, they're human, but just another step like in their evolution. So they're kind of like tapped in, you know what I mean? And I think because all three of them were new types, that's what made them kind of like each other, because they understood each other on a level that non-new types wouldn't. It was kind of cute. Like, it was very subtle. Okay, yeah, I like that. This is another cool element of the anime that I noticed, is that whenever one of the new types feel heightened emotion, there's this really trippy thing that happens where they enter this acid trip of some sort. There's a whole bunch of like colorful things everywhere, and they're kind of just like floating there. They call this kita. Whoever thought that I would hear the word kita again in a positive light? Okay, I'll stop. There's moments where a character will experience this kita thing and have it by themselves. There's some experiences where it'll be two characters in one thing. And I don't know, I just feel like it makes them feel closer to one another, because part of being in this like acid trip is that they don't really have to say every single word that they're thinking or feeling, but they kind of already get it. They're like, you get me, you know, we're kind of the same. After Machu finally makes it to Earth, sees the ocean, pretty, oh my god, this is my dream, whatever, her reaction was kind of just like, wow, that's an ocean. And I was like, girl, isn't this your dream? Isn't this what you said? Isn't this where you wanted to be free and all that? Very quickly I learned that that was not the main point of the anime. There was characters throughout gqux that were a part of the Universal Century timeline, which I thought was so cool how they like meshed that so well. Characters from the UC and from this new anime met and like interacted with each other and built like relationships. I thought that was really, really cool. There's this one character named Charlie Bull. He is one of the strongest new types, so you already know he knows some shit. He also was partners with this other new type named Char, and apparently Char is a big deal in the other Gundam. And let me just say, when I saw Char in this anime, I was like, and then I looked him up how his character looked in the older anime. So we have Charlia and we have Char, and they went through some shit in the other universe. Apparently Char and Charlia were close. They were partners in this whole like war thing, and then Char eventually disappeared in the Red Gundam, which the Red Gundam is like a main part of gqux, right? So when Charlia saw this Red Gundam appear in this anime, in this alternate world or whatever, alternate universe, he was like, Char has to be in here. He was right. Charlia, I don't know, he wasn't the main character. He was definitely prominent. He was really charming. You know, when they got to Charlia's backstory, him like losing his partner Char, I think he mentioned in the anime that he like felt really depressed and wanted to like committing. Something about his backstory made me really like him as a character. I think the whole point of this anime gets explained in the last few episodes, where we see this other character. This character controls like a lot of this alternate universe, and I think she may be the reason why they're even in this whole situation in the first place. Her name is Lala, and apparently there was an alternate universe where Char and Lala were lovers. She ended up losing him, like, you know, because of the Red Gundam thing or whatever, and I think she had something in her where she was the one that created this like weird rift in their universe, which then put things in other universes that weren't supposed to be there, and so everything was just screwed up, and it was because of her emotion from losing Char. Right now, Machu, when she went to Earth, met Lala on Earth. I feel like their interaction was one of the most important in the anime. The main character in this world and the main-ish character in that world, or the ones that can change the most in the anime, met. Dude, it was so cool because then they got to experience experienced this acid trip kita thing or whatever together, and it was really sweet. And Lala was kind of just like sharing her memories and like what she wants. She really wishes that Char can live. I think it was that if he lives, she can't or something like that, but like she would want it that way anyway. Now the mission changed to, okay, now Machu's on Earth with Lala or whatever. Oh yeah, and by the way, Lala is a prostitute at this brothel thing or whatever, which was crazy. Like, what the hell? That's so random. Machu was like, okay, come with me back to space. I mean, that's what you want to do, right? And then for some reason it didn't happen, which is crazy. But then they found this really important piece that's gonna tie the whole anime together in the ocean. So Machu wanted to see the ocean. The ocean contains this thing where it ties the whole anime together and the plot. I guess Lala wasn't meant to go to space, so that either way she kind of knew, I'm pretty sure, that she was gonna make this thing happen where Char stayed alive, because Char is in this loop, continuous loop. When she tries to save him, he gets killed anyway, and she gets hurt every single time. Something else that I found really weird though is that Shuji, which is the weird mysterious kid that does graffiti, apparently he killed Lala more times than he can count, whatever that means. What do they have to do with each other? Dude, I don't know. Like, that really just like fried my brain. Then I kind of just made up my own thing. I'm like, okay, maybe Machu, Nyan, and Shuji are kind of like representations of Lala, Char, and Chalia. The ending of the anime was really just like pretty sweet, and it kind of left what was actually going on for interpretation too, I think, right? I'm not sure, but the ending scene shows Nyan and Machu on the beach, I believe, and they're kind of like, well, I think we're gonna see Shuji again. And I was like, wait, are they gonna make another part to this anime? That would be cool, but I wouldn't be mad if it was just left like this. And then we see Lala and Char. I don't think they know that they're in the same phase, which kind of means that the loop was broken, I'm pretty sure. This was one of the most confusing, beautifully directed, colorful animes I've ever seen. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It really is just something so unique. Oh my god, I forgot to mention. The music in this, like the score was so pretty. 10 out of 10. Also, the ending song, whenever I see a VTuber making the opening or the ending song to an anime, I'm like, dude, I became a fan after hearing that. Overall, I truly liked it. I probably would watch it again because I feel like there's still so many things that I missed. Whatever studio made gqux, whatever they make next, I'm there, because this